But how exactly does not sleeping enough cause death or poor health? Here's the mechanism. When we don't sleep enough, essentially our bodies go into a fight or flight mode. Our bodies just think if you're not sleeping, there must be an emergency, and they act accordingly. They produce a response in your body, which is fine if you're being chased by a bear, but isn't good to have turned on chronically. So what happens is insufficient sleep increases our risk of obesity via changes in leptin and ghrelin. These are hormones that increase appetite and reduce energy expenditure. It makes sense that if we're in an emergency mode, we want to store up calories to prepare for a famine. So we're going to be eating more, we're not going to feel satiety, and we're going to decrease our metabolism so we don't burn as much energy. Insufficient sleep also causes a cardiovascular response. It causes abnormalities in lipid composition, which contribute to accumulation of plaques in the coronary arteries. It also leads to high blood pressure. During the fight or flight response, our stress hormones are pumping out. That's cortisol, for example. Cortisol raises our blood pressure. It's great that we have high blood pressure if there's an emergency. It helps us send blood to our organs that need it for running, but it's not good to have chronically elevated high blood pressure. It also causes insulin resistance and diabetes. This is because when we are in a fight or flight mode, we flood our bloodstream with blood sugar, so we have glucose for energy for fighting. That chronically elevated blood sugar leads to chronically elevated insulin, which responds to high blood sugar. But when we have chronically high insulin, eventually our cells become numb to the signal, so they become resistant to insulin, and that's the definition of diabetes. And finally, there's chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation may lead to increased risk of cancer.